Hello, welcome to the channel. Good to have you here. Today we are going to do a book review of a book by Gretchen Rubin, which is called Outer Order, Inner Calm. Outer Order, Inner Calm. The book was published in 2019. As we know, Rubin, she is an author and a speaker who majorly focuses on happiness. She's done other books about happiness. She's done Better Than Before, The Happiness Project, Happy at Home, and others. So she did this book when she came to discover that order, good organization, and generally being in an organized space contributes a lot to human happiness. So she did this book in 2019, as I mentioned, and she has focused on 4 key themes. The first theme that she looks at is the psychology of order. She says that the reason that us human beings tend to stay in disorganized spaces, like in an office desk where clutter is here and everywhere, or maybe in a home where laundry is everywhere, or in a kitchen where dishes are not cleaned and the kitchen is in a mess. The reason that happens is because the human brain will always tell an individual that you don't have time for this. And so if it's time to take the cup back to the kitchen, your brain tells you you've got no time for this, you are in a hurry, the best thing is to leave it for now. If it's when you wake up, the brain tells you you don't have time to make your bed, the first thing is to dash out, you'll always come back. If it's time to organize your laundry, organize your bedroom or the desk, the brain tells you that there's no time for this, you can always be doing something else better. So she says that's one of the reasons that human beings tend to live in disorganized places. The second thing that human beings tend to live in disorganized places is because of the mentality that someone else will do this for me. So if it is 2 adults staying in the same house, opposite gender, there is a tendency of the male assuming that the female will do it, and sometimes vice versa. If it is children living with adults, there is the tendency of the children saying that the adult will do it, which now becomes a habit of expecting other people to clean after them and organize for them. She also says that the other reason that people tend to live in disorganized places or in places without order is because they have never seen the rewards of being in an organized space. They have never known the benefits. And so if you were to tell them they would be paid money to make their beds, to clean up their desks, to clear the clutter in their bedrooms, to organize their closets and their kitchen, they would do it. But if there is no money motivation, if there is no motivation for that, it is assumed that there are no rewards, yeah? And so they tend not to do it. So that's the first step that she takes in the book, helping human beings understand why some people tend to stay in disorganized places. Then she goes to the next step of showing how lack of order, clutter, and disorganization ruins the quality of life. So she takes you through a journey to know when you've lost your keys and you can't trace them, how many hours or time or how much time is going to be wasted looking for those keys. She looks at how the brain gets disorganized when someone is working in a space without order, on a desk where everything is everywhere. She gets to show how people tend to live in conflict if they are staying in a home without order, and how bad those conflicts can get. So when you read that chapter, you get to appreciate the good side of living in an orderly space and how one can work on themselves to achieve that milestone. And then now there is now the other chapter where she looks at shopping, which is the third key thing that she's looking, and she's showing the reader how your shopping habits can contribute to your lack of order or orderliness. She looks at number 1, the person that she calls a minimalist and a person of abundance. The minimalist rarely does shopping. The minimalist is likely to use one conditioner the whole year. They are likely to maybe shop for clothes only twice or thrice a year if they will. The minimalists have very few pair of shoes. They can't fill up a whole shoe rack with shoes or what have you. And she shows how minimalists also tend up to be hoarders. They don't release their stuff so easily. So they are not likely to know when something has been, when to release what needs to be released or how to let go of stuff. That is a minimalist. Then there are the abundance people, yeah? They will shop for clothes many times, they will shop for shoes, they will have 4 different types of conditioners, they will have in the kitchen, they are going to have 4 different types of spices. And she says that people who are on the other side of abundance, they tend to clear up stuff fast. They also tend to release what they don't need so fast. So she says that first you need to discover your shopping style. And then when you look at your shopping style, you know how it can work for you and how it can work against you. And then now she also looks at the people who buy things that should be in the store. Like you go, you find something that can be a good gift for someone, and then you decide to buy for the day that person will have a birthday. She suggests if you want to give someone something, buy from the store and send straight to where they are. So those are some of the key things that she looks at. The last part is now when she's giving the tricks, the nuts and the bolts of living in an organized place. She first looks at the 2-minute rule. The 2-minute rule says that if something will take you less than 2 minutes to do it, you don't have to procrastinate. Do it immediately. If it takes 2 minutes to remove the books that you are working with on your desk, to remove the office materials that you are using and taking them back to the shelf, do it. If it will take you less than 2 minutes to remove cups and utensils from the table and take to the kitchen, do it. If it will take you less than 2 minutes to wash that cup, to wash that plate and that spoon, instead of leaving it in the sink or instead of pushing for later when you'll put them in the dishwasher, do it immediately. The 2-minute rule says if it takes you 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, to take your clothes to the laundry basket or to fold whatever you have has dried, do it immediately. So she says that when you manage to observe the 2-minute rule everywhere you are, you're going to tend to live in a more organized space. The other thing that she is discussing in this book about living in an organized space is the pick after me rule. The pick after me is do not wait for anyone else to do your job. If you have used a cup and you've taken it to the kitchen, don't wait for someone else to clean your cup. Clean it immediately. If you have removed your shoes, take care of your shoes. Don't expect anyone to wipe them or clean them and then take to the shoe rack. Take care of your own mess. She says that happiness that comes about from living in an organized space cannot be delegated to other people. And it is at this space that she gives us a story of a gentleman who tends to be more organized, and his wife is the opposite. She's a bit of a mess. And he says that the only reason why he was having challenges was because his wife was not organizing the sitting room. And he was using the sitting room as his office space. And this other Rubin suggested to him, why don't you go to the office? And he said, yes, he can get an office, but the office is a little bit disorganized. He didn't want to work in the office. And now you can see where she was going, yeah? You can always clean after yourself. She says that it is not good to live in a disorganized space, affect your own mental health, and then blame it on someone else. Also in this chapter is where she shows the relationship between disorder and conflict. She takes you through a journey to see countries where you see chaos and disorder all over, how more often they tend to be more in conflict and have unresolved issues than countries where when you go you see nice ambience, you don't see clutter everywhere, you see nice environments. Those people tend to live in peace. And so she suggests that if you want peace in your home, if you want order in your home, maybe what you needed to do is to start with being orderly, and happiness will follow. I liked this book. I liked the way she was showing the nexus between depression and disorder. And she was saying that according to leading psychologists, you know, Rubin is a lawyer by training, but according to leading psychologists, one of the ways of knowing if an individual is having depression is looking at their space. So they tell you they have a challenge, you know, cleaning up their spaces, washing their personal effects, staying in an organized environment, and that's one of the signs. So the author shows us that now, if that is the order of your day, where on a day-to-day basis your bed is never made, on a day-to-day basis your office desk is always in clutter, on a day-to-day basis your kitchen is in a mess and your laundry is never done, then it means you are never happy, because staying in a disorderly space, lack of order, brings chaos and poor mental health. So this is a good book. I liked it. On a scale of 10, I'll give it a 9. I just to let you know how I got to know about it, we had a discourse with someone on Facebook, and it's a gentleman who was saying that he grew up knowing that cleaning, organizing, and order in a home is a duty of a woman. Then he grew up into adulthood, married, and was marrying women who didn't know how to organize. So he was divorced twice, and now he was asking for ideas of where he can get a woman who is more organized. And now you can imagine Facebook and such a question. So women were bashing him right, left, and center. They're like, work on yourself. Learn how to organize. This is not a gender role. The only gender role we have is in regards to reproduction and such stuff. And the man took it positive, and he was like, so who can show me how to be orderly? Who can show me how to be organized? Because I grew up knowing that this is the duty of a woman. And so I suggested that he reads Marie Kondo's book. Marie Kondo is a Japanese who has written the book, The Power of Tidying Up, the Magic Power of Tidying Up. It's a book by Marie Kondo. I love it. I think I'll do a review of that book soon. And then I told him to read it. And can you imagine, this man was quite serious, yeah? So he read the book, and then after 2 or 3 months, I hit him up on Facebook and I asked him, so did you read Marie Kondo's book? Did you get to understand the benefits of tidying up, staying in a clean environment, and how to do it? And oh, he was so excited. He was there giving me the feedback, how to follow a morning routine, how to follow an evening routine. But he was like, I liked Marie Kondo's book because it tells you the exacts of ABCD, how to do it, how to establish a morning routine in terms of tidying up, how to establish an evening routine in terms of tidying up. But I loved Rubin's book, which I found when I was doing my own research, because now that one tells you the psychology behind it, how it brings you happiness, how good it is for you, which was now a motivator for him. And he was like, oh, you mean there's such a book? So I went looking for the book, found it, read it, and I'm like, yeah, I liked it. So Rubin does not give you the exact principles of ABCD, how to be a clean person, how to be an orderly person, how to stop being messy. He doesn't do that. It's only a few, I think 30% of the book that has the ABCDs of how to do it. But the book focuses more on why it should be done. But Marie Kondo's book, The Magic Power of Tidying Up, is the one that gives you the ABCDs of how to tidy up, how to be organized, how not to be messy, and how to set up a space that when you just open the doors, either of your office or your bedroom or your kitchen, you just love what you see. So that is my review. If you like it, go get the book, read the book, and let me know what you think about the book. If you like the review, ensure that you share with your friends, and let us keep the message going. So bye for now.